Hi there guys, it's that MCU guy here. I'm here today to talk to you about the Avengers Endgame trailer, which dropped on Wednesday. Everyone was surprised by that. Me for one was very surprised. I only mentioned a couple of days before that I thought it'd be coming in the next 10 days or so. Didn't realise it'd be the next 2 or 3 days. So, here we go, let's get started. The trailer starts with a small monologue from Tony. I'm assuming it's carrying on the message he was sending Pepper in the first Endgame trailer, telling her about his backstory of Iron Man. It seems like a lifetime ago, but it was 10 years ago. He fought his way out of the cave. There's a shot from the first Iron Man where he's lying in the sand, having just escaped from his prison. Next scene is with the art reactor that Pepper gave him after he came back. And then another one was one with Pepper and the Iron Man helmet from Iron Man 3, where he has the message inside it and she doesn't realise and she thought he's dead after the Miami house got blown up. And then it shows him out in space saying that he wants to give her one last surprise. Because obviously in Infinity War it says there should be no more surprises in the scene together as they're running through the park. So it's obviously a callback to Infinity War, saying there's no more surprises. So he's obviously trying to rescue himself and bring him back to Earth. But one thing I did notice, on the ship, on the right-hand side, the planet or whatever thing they're next to in space, in the first trailer, it's a completely different colour to this one. I'm not sure if that's part of the editing or they were trying to throw us off the scent with it, but they're completely two different colours, which makes no sense, but they've also done it for a reason. On to the next scene now, where we have a bit of dialogue from Captain America the Winter Soldier. This conversation between Cap and Peggy, where Cap's telling her that he wished that he could have done more, and that he's one of the reasons why he's part of S.H.I.E.L.D. is because of her, because he knows that she's formed it. And she said that they messed everything up, but they did the best they could. So this is played over top of images from Captain America the First Avenger, where Steve is trying to enlist in the army, but can't do so because of his weedy figure. The next shot is another shot from the first trailer and the second trailer of Staten Island, with loads of boats all over the place. Obviously showing that what they've done, they can't change it. And then to the next scene, we see Cap at the meeting that we saw in the last trailer, where he was struggling to deal with the loss of everyone, and you can tell that he's still not happy about it. It's just another shit scene from that. After that, we see Hawkeye. If you notice, with Hawkeye, he's got an anklet on, just like Scott Lang did in Ant-Man the Wasp. But one thing I find really stupid is the fact that Ant-Man had to stay inside of his house, but Hawkeye can wander all of his farm, which is a bit harsh on Scott Lang as far as I'm concerned. It's not very fair. But obviously Hawkeye's enjoying his time with his family. This must be obviously before the snap, so I'm assuming this is probably going to be part of like a flashback where Hawkeye's explaining what life was like before the snap. And then after that we see images again from Captain America Civil War, where they're actually burying Peggy Carter. And again, they're still sticking with the same format, with the black and white and the hint of red. In this next bit, we see images from Thor, while he narrates over the top of it about the fact that he's seen all these people die. During that, we actually see people dusting away, like Black Panther, Scarlet Witch and Falcon. And bits from Infinity War where he looks really confused, like, what's going on? I don't know what's going on. What's going on? In this next bit, we see a bit from the dusting of Bucky, where Cap's really confused and touching the ground, like, hey, where's he gone? Where's he gone? Not Bucky. And then we move on to a conversation between Natasha and Cap, where Cap's giving the speech that he did from the second trailer, where he's talking about people move on, but not them. If you notice in this scene, Natasha's hair is half red, half blonde. So when we're talking about in regards to when this film takes place, in the first 20 minutes, it's got to be straight from when the decimation happens to like a period of time afterwards. So there's going to be a time jump between certain parts of the scene. There's going to be that in the first 20 minutes. There's going to be a big time jump where they go from one point to another point before they go start this mission. Because obviously later on in the trailer you realise that Natasha has long red hair again, and it's growing out completely. But we'll get to that point next. Next up, we see Bruce Banner looking concerned. Oh, this must be part of the conversation that they're all having back at Avengers HQ. Next, we see Scott Lang outside of his ex-wife, partner, and daughter's home. This obviously is after the decimation, when he returns home to find what's going on. There's bins overflowing. There's grass all over the place. It's overflown, overgrown. On the lamppost that Scott Lang's looking at, there's looks like hundreds of pictures of missing people that people just put over the top, just trying to find loved ones because they can't understand what's going on. He looks terrified and he looks confused, which is not good. And then the next scene we have a Quinjet flying down over a city. I'm assuming this has got to be Tokyo because it doesn't look like London, it doesn't look like New York. It would make a lot of sense if Cap and Natasha are going to get Clint to bring him back to help him with the mission. And then we see Clint and Nat together. We're looking very somber. And Natasha's hair is red and white. It's part of on the braiding of her hair. You can see the white is still there, so it's obviously growing out of the white and gone back into red. Our next scene, we have Clint Barton running away down some tunnel. I have no theory on this. I can't seem to figure out why he's running down a tunnel, but it's obviously a tunnel that we see from the Super Bowl trailer where he's looking down something with the red light coming off. So it could possibly be a ship, or it could be a base that he's trying to infiltrate. I mean, there was talk about him trying to search for the scrolls, but I'm not sure how that really would tie in to Endgame. I'm not sure why, but I'm sure we'll get more information soon. But for the time being, I can't seem to figure out what's going on. We then see Hawkeye jumping out of the tunnel with flames following him. What I find really weird about this part is Hawkeye still looks like Hawkeye as opposed to Ronin. So I'm assuming again this must take place before the gang all meet up. So maybe he's on a secret mission. Maybe he's searching for the scrolls like we spoke about. But again, I'm not sure why that'd be happening. Then we move on to Rocket and War Machine. Now, War Machine's armour looked a bit more upgraded. I'm not sure if that's because of where they are or what they're doing, but Rocket's got goggles on top of his head, and it looks like the part of a fight. Now, I think there's certain parts of this trailer that we see this from. This might be the fact they might be going challenging Thanos early on in the film, realising they don't have a chance, having to come back, regroup, and come up with a different way of doing things. It'd make a lot of sense, or maybe they're being attacked at the Avengers facility, because obviously later on during the scene, we see Ant-Man escaping or using a pencil, which we'll get to in a few seconds. But there must be a big scene, a big fight scene earlier on in the film. Then we have a moment between Barton and Captain America, where Captain America's assuring that we will. I'm assuming he means we will get your family back, because Hawkeye looks more like Ronin in this part. He looks more distraught. Must be having a heart-to-heart out by the lake, which is a lovely scene. And then we see Ant-Man looking scared and confused in the Avengers facility, which then sets off the whatever it takes monologue that all the Avengers seem to go through as they're speaking through this trailer, apart from Bruce Banner, which is a bit strange. Then we get to Nebula getting ready for a battle. Now this, to me, looks a bit like Titan, because if you see in the background, there's some of them spiked spaceship looking things, and it looks a bit like Titan did look like after the fight with Thanos and the Avengers. Again, we see Hawkeye in the tunnel, shooting an arrow at something or somebody. I don't know what. Maybe that's the reason why there's fire. Maybe he shot something and it's exploded, like a silly Billy. And then we have a shot of Natasha, like we did in the second trailer, where she's shooting at targets. Obviously doing some practicing. Again, she's still got the white hair, but it's a bit longer now. So maybe this is before they start the new mission, but after the first attempt of trying to stop Thanos. She also says, whatever it takes, just like the rest of them. Then the next shot, we see Cap unbuckling his shield, looking like he's had the fight of his life. He looks covered in dirt and mud, and he don't look happy. He looks tired. This must be, again, part of a big battle. It's part of me thinks it must be at the Avengers facility, but then there'd be no reason for them to be walking away from the Avengers facility later on in the trailer. So maybe they have gone to Titan to try and take down Thanos. This is the one I was speaking about with Ant-Man using a pencil to catapult himself over something. This is what makes me think is the Avengers facility, because if you look closely in the top left, there looks like an orc's lead, things that you generally find in normal places as opposed to Titan. I don't think Thanos has boom boxes and CD players and headphones on Titan. He could do. He might have some beats, but chances are it's going to be somewhere on Earth. Then I have a picture of Tony saying whatever it takes, still on the Milano. Then cut to the scene that we've seen in every trailer with the Avengers facility, with the panning out, with the light shining through before it showed them all walking through. And then we get to the bit where all the guys are walking through in the new white fancy suits. Lots of theories suggest that these are the Quantum Realm suits, because they look a bit like the suit that Pym's in Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm assuming this takes place just before they go down to the Quantum Realm. This must be when they all meet back up and Scott explains what Hank's been doing, trying to go down to the Quantum Realm. Maybe explaining how he managed to get back out of the Quantum Realm and how that'll help them with their mission going forward. But they're all going somewhere, so maybe they're all going to Scott Lang's van, getting themselves into Quantum Realm. Maybe the Hulk can't go down, because obviously if he turned into the Hulk from Banner, it might mess things up for Banner. He might not be able to survive if he did turn back, after breaking out of the suit, because Hulk would just smash out of the suit. Or maybe he's just staying on this side so he can make sure nothing goes wrong. Because you also don't see Captain Marvel in this bit neither. She might be part of it, but we don't know. Then we cut to the Avengers logo with the Endgame title coming up to the sound of the classic Avengers theme, which always gets me so excited. Such a great song. Then we cut to the final scene of the trailer with Captain Marvel and Thor meeting. Thor still wearing that big coat that he was wearing in the first one, after moping around and feeling sorry for himself for not going for the head. Captain Marvel looks very different from what she does in the Captain Marvel film. Obviously, it's set in the future, but I think she just looks a lot different. Like, just the way that she stands, she stood more like she did at the start of Captain Marvel film than she did at the end. She's really wooden, like with a fist clench, and she just kind of stood there like, But obviously by this point, we've spoke to the rest of the Avengers, because Rhodey's in the room and Natasha's in the room. But it's good that Thor's obviously wants to prove that he's the strongest Avenger and shouldn't be messed with because he summons Stormbreaker, which she obviously finds very cool, as she gives a little subtle little eyebrow raise. And we notice that Natasha's hair is again short, so this again must be quite early on in the film, before any sort of fighting happens. But that's it. Hope you enjoyed the breakdown. Have I missed anything? Any big glaring things? Have you guys got any theories that I've missed? Please let me know. I'm happy to discuss this and hear your ideas. So cheers, guys. Thanks again. See you later.